Did you think you'd be able to grow a business on YouTube by just making videos? Well, that's not true. In fact, when I made my first $1 million from YouTube, hardly any of the sales came from videos at all. And it's true of all the results that you can see on screen right now too. These sales were not from social media, they weren't from ads either, but just from using YouTube to grow an email list and then using that email to hit those big numbers. So in this video, I'm going to give you the exact YouTube to email system that made me my first $1 million a year and got results like this. By the end of this deep dive, you're going to understand exactly why this will earn you up to 4 times more money than just posting videos on their own. You're also going to know how to write emails that convert viewers to buyers using a tried and tested process, and how to set up a simple system that over time you build on to generate more sales. Now, to start, I need to make sure you're fully bought into this, so I'm going to very quickly show you why you must not write this off as something that won't work for you, because it probably will. Now, the first reason, I wanted to get some cold hard proof of just how powerful email is. So I recently did a test and I posted a short promo video to my YouTube channel, this one. It's literally just an advert for my program. And then I tracked the sales from it with RevTrack, and you can see it made about $30,000, which isn't bad, right? But in the very same week, I sent 3 short emails to my list promoting the same thing, and those emails generated over 150,000 in the same time frame. Now, I'm not saying you're going to start with numbers like this just by sending some emails. I've been building trust with my audience for years, but what that shows is email can easily generate 5 times the results of video promotion alone. But why does this happen? Well, think of your audience being split up into 3 different viewer types. Audience 1 is probably the largest percentage of your YouTube viewers. They've discovered you, they are curious, but they're just not ready to buy. So we call them cold viewers. And then we have audience 2. We call these warm viewers. They're basically people who have seen you before, they trust you more, and maybe they are considering buying. This will include some of your channel viewers as well. And then the third audience is hot viewers. These are the people who are like, I think I'm going to make a purchase of this person. We want as many of them as we can. But here's the thing. When it comes to email, the people on your list, well, they already know you. So they are here and they joined it because they watched your content. So that means they're not cold. They're warm or hot. So when you send promotion to your list, it basically just hits a hot and warm audience. And that's why every email you send has a higher chance of making you sales than every video you post. Now, the next reason you need to get in on this is tied to one of the biggest problems businesses on YouTube face: posting consistently. Consistency is pretty much the ultimate YouTube hack for businesses, but life happens. You get busy, and suddenly you are gone weeks without uploading a video to the channel. So if your business only relies on YouTube, your sales can dry up very fast when you stop posting. But email protects you from that. So much so that in 2023, I went 6 months without uploading a single video to my old channel Film Booth, but I still grew the business. Why? Because I sent 1 email a week to my list, and that weekly email just kept the sales ticking in, and it kept my audience warm. So when I did promote, the money flowed. And what makes this even better is when you're busy, it might only take you an hour to write 1 email, where it could take you 5 to make a video. So you can keep the business growing with less work. And then there's the final reason. This is just kind of common sense. So let's assume we've got 2 businesses. Business A promotes their business 4 times a month with a weekly upload to YouTube. Business B promotes 10 times a month because they also send weekly emails and a couple of little promos in there too. But which one will make more money? It's not rocket science, right? The business that promotes more is probably going to earn more. And if you're doubting that, well, just try doubling your promotion next month. See what happens and let me know in the comments. So email is just faster, easier, and more profitable with your time. And when you build the email system in the way that I'm going to show you, it's not even going to feel like you're promoting to your viewers. All right, so now you know why you cannot write email off. Let me show you the system we're going to build now. And it looks like this, which isn't particularly impressive, right? Because most people are going to tell you to build something like this. It's like a great big spider web. But the truth is, that's just so much work, especially when my version can get you to 1 million. And all you do is get people's emails, then send them value, and then just post consistently anywhere from like once a week to once a month. And I know this works because I have sent 530 pages of emails to my list now, and this simple system gets results. So why would you start with anything more, right? So let's start with step 1, and this is where most people get it wrong, because what they do is they start by trying to grow their list, offering a complex kind of freebie, like a PDF, a checklist, or a mini course called a lead magnet, in the hope that viewers will give them their email in return for it, and that'll grow their list. Now, lead magnets are great, but they take you ages to make. They can barely deliver value if you get it wrong. And they usually flop for signups and results until you've tested a ton of them. In fact, I tested about 10 different ones so far this year, and only 2 have had the epic kind of results you'd expect from a lead magnet. So what I'd recommend doing if you're newer to this is just start with the foundational strategy I used, where all you do is get people to sign up to your email by simply saying, I'm going to send you more really good information if you sign up. You don't have any kind of freebie then. And the best part of this is, what I'm about to show you, you can set up in like an hour and it could potentially start working for you straight away too. All right, so step 2, then all you do is you make a sign up page so that people can join your list. But again, so many people overcomplicate this, it just wrecks their signups. Like Steve here, he wrote into the channel saying his income was stuck, so I thought I'd make him a new email system now to show you how this is done in each step. So to start, when you're making a sign-up page, it shouldn't look like Steve's because he, like most people, is doing too much. Look, he's got animation, he's got like an about us section, he's got testimonials, he's got lists, features, and you'd think that was all good stuff, right? But think about this. People don't land on this sign-up page cold. They've just watched your YouTube video, and it's your job to get them excited in the YouTube video so that by the time they hit that page, all they really want to do is just fill in the form to get the thing, not be distracted by all this other stuff. So what do you do instead? Well, I've tested sign-up pages packed with information like Steve's against really stripped down, kind of boring versions, and the simple version got 60% more sign-ups. So I'm going to show you how to do that. To start, you just put a headline. Now, the key for a headline is it needs to promise a specific result they'll get reading your weekly email. So I made one for Steve, and it says, generate consistent monthly profit with low-risk trading strategies. So can you see how the result is more specific and specific results are strong? And then you put a subheadline below that. And here you just kind of keep unpacking benefits of signing up. So I've made Steve's, get free trading systems that work in any market condition sent straight to your inbox. And then below that, we just have a form. This is all you need if you follow my next steps. Oh, and by the way, if you want more headlines and sub-headline inspiration, I've linked below. I've got 10 templates you can use. And inside, I've also put 5 of my top performing emails of all times, so you can geek out on them. Which brings us on to the next step, picking your email software. And I'm going to keep this brief because all of these email platforms suck for different reasons. The only thing that really matters is you just pick one quick and move on. And just make sure that whatever you pick does a few things. Firstly, allows you to add tags. And secondly, allows you to send welcome emails. And then thirdly, it allows you to track conversions and sales from your email. If they don't panic. You can use RevTrack to do that anyway. But if you want a list, a lot of my clients use things like Go High Level and Kajabi, and I've used something called Kartra for years. It's okay. Seal of approval there. All right, so the next step, this is where you're going to start making money potentially straight away. And while I don't recommend doing it exactly the way I did, here's how I used it to generate sales fast. So back when I started doing this email system, I had 3 different offers I was promoting at the time. I had one-to-one consulting calls, had a low ticket workshop, and I had a high ticket workshop. So what I did was, after someone signed up to my list, I would set the software to instantly send them a welcome email that said something like this: hey, whatever their name was, thanks for signing up to the name of my email. I'm excited to send you my strategies that will help you get the result they signed up for. See you soon. P.S. Want to work one-to-one with me? Click here. Want to grow your YouTube channel in 10 weeks? Click here. Want to learn how to make thumbnails that get more clicks? Click here. That's it. It's really short, right? But I instantly showed that this is a real business, not just another newsletter, meaning I was priming them to know I had an offer too. And what this did was it gave any warm or hot viewers something to click on straight away. And that booked me a ton of calls back then, even though it's not the best. But there is something I would change now. And that is, I don't recommend giving 3 options to click on in your email, because too many choices can often overwhelm and hurt overall clicks. So what I would change now is I'd probably just pick one of these offers, and then I would see if anyone clicked on it and if it made sales, and then I might test changing it to something else over time. That's kind of it. All right, so the next step is simple, and you just need to get people onto your sign up page so they can actually join your list. And because I've tracked over 500 million views on YouTube now, I have data that tells me exactly what works to get people from YouTube to your sign up page and over the line. So here are the 3 best ways to get more email signups based on this data that no one else has. Now, the first is the most powerful, but what I'm going to do is use Steve as an example again to show you how this works. So let's imagine we want to get people from this video to his email sign up. Have a look at the title of it. It's about the best way to trade Apple stocks. Apple is the company. not the fruit, I'm assuming. Now, so what I would do is this. I would write a call to action to join his email to put in that video that sounded like this. Oh, and by the way, if you want to generate consistent monthly profits with low-risk trading companies like Apple, click the link below, and every week I'll send you the most up-to-date systems that work in any conditions. Now, obviously, the technical details might not be perfect because I am not in the trading niche. So traders, calm down before you start typing, oh no, Ed, that's not correct. The point here is that you want to position your regular weekly email updates as the natural solution to the problem your current video is about. So you can see I've basically used the headline and the subheadline from his sign up page and put it into the call to action and combined it with the topic of the video, Apple. So what we've found from tracking so much business data from YouTube with RevTrack is when the video topic and the sign up headline are tightly aligned, signups can spike a ton. And I've seen some RevTrack users hit over 10% view to link clicks using this method, which when the industry average is 1%, that's incredible. Now, the next thing you want to do is you just want to put the link at the very top of your description with a short, benefit-driven call to action. For Steve, I might say something like free weekly low-risk trading strategies. And then the third promotion trick, pretty proud of, got me to 10,000 email signups doing very little else. Once it got me 800 in a day, it takes about 10 minutes. I had a client with a smaller channel hit 1,000 people on their list using it in just 10 days too. So again, I'm going to use Steve here as a demo to show you how this works. So about 3 hours before you send an email to your list, you post a little message on your community wall or on social media, and you start it with a hook. So something like this. Are you fed up losing out on profits because of what feels like unpredictable market swings? And then you set up the problem your viewers have. So Steve would say most traders make no money because they don't realize that swings are often predictable. And then next you tease the solution without giving it away. But there is a simple 3-step process you can use every morning to spot them. And then after that you add some urgency and a call to action. And today at 6 p.m, I'll be emailing all of the traders on my list those exact 3 steps so they can make more profits. Join here so you don't miss it. So the secret to this is to create curiosity within a post. So they go, oh, I really want the email. But also, notice how I said 3 or 4 hours, not 24. When I tested this, I gave people a full day to sign up and we got less signups. Probably because they thought, I'll sign up later. But with a shorter window, what happens is the urgency kicked in and they had to do it there and then, right now. So you can do this every time you send an email to your list and it just works. Now, before we move on, you're probably wondering, well, how often should you actually email your list? And I don't actually think you should start emailing them straight away. So when I first began doing this, I didn't email anyone until I had about 300 subscribers because I was like, well, what's the point of sending anything to 10 people? It wouldn't be worth the time. And I knew I wasn't going to see any kind of return. However, once I hit 300, I started to send 1 email a month. And then at 500, I bumped it up to twice a month. And then at 1,000, I switched to weekly. And that is when the real growth started. So I would stick to that too, if you can. Which brings us on to the next step. This really is the secret sauce, and it's where 100% of the results come from. But it is the thing everyone treats as the afterthought, and you just can't do that if you want 4 times the sales you are currently getting. And all you need to do is this. So when I first decided to take email seriously, I made a commitment saying that I'd just give it my all for 18 months. But to start, I was like, well, what the heck do I send to the list? So I just thought, well, just send value, like all of the generic advice you get online says. So the first few months was pretty lame. I'd send an email, I'd get like no replies, some opens, and didn't really feel like anything was happening. The thing is, after about 1.5 years, something amazing happened. Even emails that weren't promoting anything directly were now generating sales. I was getting replies saying how loved my email was. And the best thing was, in March 2024, one email made $80,000 in 28 hours because I stuck to this plan, which is insane. So what's the secret to writing emails that will do this for you? Well, here are 4 big lessons learned from 537 pages of emails I've sent to my list that completely changed my results. So the first lesson is this. When you're writing your email, just imagine the hours work you put into it could make you 4 times more than the 5 hours work you put into a video. That is the reality of this. If you do that, you're going to start producing really high quality content. So lesson number 1 is just simply to commit to trying to make your emails so good, people read them and ask, how do I work with this person as a result of that effort? When you think like this will actually work. And the next lesson is pretty simple, and it's just that if no one opens your email, it's kind of a waste of time. So your subject line is like your little YouTube title and thumbnail combined, meaning it has to spark curiosity so people want to open it above all of the other stuff they get sent. And to do that, you do this. Keep it under 55 characters and then just be specific. So if I wrote Steve a headline, it would be increase profits 50% with this simple trading trick, not something vague like trading tricks that earn you more. Specific is more believable, it's more interesting, and people go, oh, I want that, because they can literally picture the result. Now, the third lesson is where people often get stuck because there's so many different types of emails that you could send. There's listicles, there's news updates, there's stories. So what the heck do you do? Well, I like to think about it like this. When you receive an email, do you go, oh, quick, let me just stop everything I'm doing and then grab a pen and paper and study the 1,000-word beast in front of you? Or are you sitting on the loo or procrastinating, doing something else that's way more important? Or are you in between tasks? It's the second option, right? So when it comes to thinking about what do you send your list, send them something they can finish before they need to flush. That's one hell of a quote. No, I'm sorry, it's a bit vulgar, but it's true. And the best way to do that is just to tell a very short story that is very easy to follow and gives them 1 to 3 short actionable takeaways they can remember for the rest of the day. So here is my structure for writing an email that is going to do that using Steve as a demo again. So let's say Steve's headline is, how one butterfly trade hit 422% profit. No idea what that means, but that's what it is. We then start his email with a hook. Now there's loads of different types of hooks. I like using question hooks. So Steve's hook might sound like this. Are you fed up making 1% profit per trade when everyone else seems to hit double figures? And then what we do is we move into a 1-sentence result where you say you solved this problem. So Steve would say, I was in the same position years ago until I learned the secrets to butterfly trading and hit a trade that pulled in 422% profit in a day. And then you move on to the story of how. So this is the simplest framework for writing a story. All right, so you start off by sharing a problem that you had, and then you move in to show the 1 to 3 action steps you took to solve that problem. Just keep it really light, you don't need to go into detail. Then you show the result that happened, and it doesn't matter if you failed or achieved it, and then you just give the main lesson. This is the takeaway that your readers can go, I could maybe apply that today. When you follow this structure, your story becomes relatable, memorable, and actionable. And then, if you like, you can give the readers a few more action steps to get the results themselves. So for Steve, that might sound like, so here are 3 steps to take today to get the same result. And then he would list out 3 specific things. Now, I don't know anything about trading, so I'm not going to list them because the FCA will be on my ass. But that brings us on to the next lesson for writing your emails. And this is your moneymaker, because at the bottom of your email, you just add a short little PS that ties directly to the problem your story was about. So for Steve's example, we might say, PS, if you want help increasing your trade profits 400%, click this link. Now, when you write a good email, what happens is the reader should get to the bottom and go, that was great. How do I work with this person? And then they see the PS and go, oh, goody, that's how, and they click it. And that is the gospel of writing emails according to Ed. The thing is, how long should your emails be? Well, because I'm a nerd, I have tested this, and I wrote the same email twice, one long version and one short version, and I sent half of my list the long one, and I sent half of my list the short. And I did this 20 times. Only once did the longer email perform better. And by perform, I mean get more clicks on the link to your offer at the bottom in the PS. So here's my recommendation. Don't waste time trying to write a 1,000-word masterpiece. Think about your ideal buyers. Mine are time-poor toilet readers. So really, I need to keep things short. And yours probably are too. So just start by delivering 1 nugget of value in like a 300 to 500 word story max. If you can do that week after week, you will build trust and people will just open your emails no matter what the subject line is. All right, so this next step in the email system is going to save you so much time, and it's going to get your videos more views too. Because after 18 months of sending emails to my list, I realized I could use my list to test potential video ideas for my channel. And if the video idea I sent to my list, disguised as an email, got more replies than normal, I'd turn that into a YouTube video because it hit a nerve. Now, the cool thing about that was half the work was already done as the email became the backbone of the script, and then I just added a bit more info. But Ed, won't my subscribers already know the content because they've read it in my email and switch off? Well, I thought that too, but I tested it, and 4 out of 5 times I did this, the video version of a high-performing email outperformed my channel average, which is exceptional because normally only 3 in 10 videos will do that. So the email list isn't just for sales. It's a focus group of your perfect buyers telling you what to post on YouTube too. And then the next step is the one most people ignore, but it's one of the most important because it's like following a sat-nav to get you to your destination versus just guessing. But in this case, the direct sales or calls booked from your email is your sat-nav. Because when you can see what emails perform best to grow your business, you just double down on what works and the whole system compounds. Now, most email software can track this for you. And if yours doesn't, you can check out RevTrack in the link below. It will show you sales from your emails and your YouTube, so you always know what's working. Now, this brings us on to the next step, and you're going to like it because it's not just going to give you more income, it's going to hand you a get out of jail free card. So let me explain. Have you ever wondered if you lost everything tomorrow, how quickly you could make money back to survive? Now, that thought crossed my mind a few years ago. And at the same time, I wanted to do something really special for my dad by buying him his dream Rolex. So I wondered, could I fund it purely from one email? So I sent out a simple offer to my subscribers, and in 8 hours, I made him enough to buy the Batman, which is watch nerd talk for a blue and black ring around a watch. Now, the Rolex here isn't the point. The point is this: when you spent weeks and months giving value, you earn the right to sell. And when you have that right, you need to flip and use it. So this step isn't just about sending value with a PS. You also need to promote. And when you test this, it's gonna give you a pretty good indication of how strong your get out of jail free card might be too. So what I recommend is this: send 4 emails a month to your list that are just educational with a soft sell PS at the bottom. And then send 1 promo that's just outright asking for the sale in that same time. And you can send more than this if you like, but this is the first test I would have. And when writing that promotional email, make sure it's very short. The email that generated me the most sales ever was 4 lines long. So if I was writing Steve's promo, it would look like this. I'd start with a hook. Do you wish you could make more trading? Then I'd tease a result. Over the last 5 years, I've helped 2,000 people do just that. Then I'd have a call to action. So if you'd like to double your returns in only 90 days, click this link and I'll help you do it too. Steve. And then I'd say some sort of bonus to create urgency. And I'd also say, and this offer ends in 48 hours. And it just works. Now, this might sound a bit too simple, but what I've shown you so far is enough to get you to $1 million a year. I'm proof of it myself. But only if you put the effort into making your emails as good as you can. The secret to this is the quality of your writing. However, once you've been emailing consistently for a few months, there is one more level we can go to here. And this is often what you were told to do at the very start, but I don't think that's the best way. So let me explain. So you're going to hear a lot of advice about building a huge automated email sequence where you send 20 or 30 or 50 emails to someone after they've signed up in this like automated way. But I have a problem with that. If you make 20 emails and they all suck, that's 20 emails that will stop your readers wanting to open your next email and 20 emails that are going to stop people wanting to buy from you. So what makes sense is to do what I did. And you practice first in the way I've shown you. Just send an email a week until you're better. And then when you start to see replies and things resonating, you just take those best performing emails that have generated sales and you add them to your automated sequence. Meaning, by doing all this practice, you've potentially done all the work you need to build a big email nurture campaign in the future. All of the emails in my own nurture system are just my best performing emails from over the last couple of years put into a 20-day sequence. Why would I bother doing anything else? The first 5 you send, just give a ton of value with a short little P to S call to action at the bottom. And then the next 5, just promote your thing. If you want to check out my email nurture, you can literally just sign up to it in the link below and you'll go through exactly what I'm telling you to build yourself. And what you want to see with your nurture campaign is after you've had, let's say, 500 people go through it, you want to look and check your data. And what we want to see is the open rates on day 1 and the open rates on the final day looking very similar. If your email that you send through this period isn't interesting people, that open rate's going to go down and down and down and down. And that is a sign that you have badly written emails or people are not finding value in them. But here's the thing. If your videos are not getting views, well, this doesn't work, does it? Because we need the videos to get views to feed the system. So watch this video next. I'm going to show you how to create a channel that doesn't just get you more views, but funnels the perfect viewer into this email system so you can turn them into buyers. And here's a little secret for you. This video is the most important video I've ever made, and I've made hundreds of the blighters.